Item 10E, adopt a resolution authorizing the city manager to purchase one portable stormwater and wastewater pump and trailer from Rockwell Engineering and Equipment Company, Inc., in the amount of $66,429.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Currently, the Public Works Department has one large pump which is used to respond to emergency situations related to sewer overflows and spills, as well as stormwater flooding events. The current pump is used by city crews to manage stormwater sewer overflows caused by things like collapsed or blocked service pipes or overwhelmed systems due to heavy rains. Its availability has helped in the reduction of the city's SSOs and has helped minimize the amount of untreated sewage entering the stormwater system and into surrounding streets and property. Currently, the city does not have an equivalent large backup pump, and during a widespread storm event, it's very difficult, if not impossible, to find a rental pump, as San Bruno is often competing with other agencies to rent from the area's limited suppliers. The addition of a second large pump would allow the city crews to respond to multiple sanitary sewer overflows, emergency storm events, to minimize property damage and to clear roads and maintain access for emergency vehicles. The pump before the council tonight was approved as part of the 16-17 equipment budget, and those funds were carried forward and included in the 2017-18 budget. And this pump is different and distinct from the pumps that are used by the Water Division, as a sewer and stormwater pump cannot later be used for potable water operations, and I'm sure you can imagine why. Staff has evaluated either purchasing or renting an additional pump and determined that the purchase of a pump is the most cost-effective option to provide the ongoing reliable backup pumping capability that we need. We sent bid notices to several vendors and we advertised on our website. We received 3 bids in June. The lowest bid of just over $40,000 did not meet our specifications and was rejected. The lowest bid that met our specifications was from Rockwell Equipment of Tustin, California, in the amount of $66,429. The bids we received were towards the end of the fiscal year 16-17 budget year. A purchase order was set up late in June so that we could carry those funds over to the 17-18 budget, so that funding would be available for the purchase of this pump. However, the PO was inadvertently sent to the vendor, and the vendor subsequently shipped the pump to the city without communicating or receiving approval for that shipment, and obviously before City Council had approved that purchase. The pump is currently being stored and has been unused at the Public Works Corporation yard pending council authorization. If the City Council approves the purchase, the pump is available and ready for use right away, which is good because the rainy season starts, by my watch, probably tomorrow at about 6 p.m. The 16-17 equipment budget included an appropriation of $85,000 for the purchase of this pump. And as I said, the pumps, those funds were included in the 17-18 budget carryover. The cost of $66,429 will be split between the wastewater and the stormwater operating budgets, respectively. And our recommendation tonight is for the council to adopt a resolution authorizing the city manager to purchase one portable stormwater wastewater pump and trailer from Rockwell Engineering and Equipment in the amount of $66,429. And I'm available for any questions you might have.
Any questions for Jim? Well, we don't have to ask you how long it's going to take to get the pump, so that's a good thing, right?
Yes. And
questions or action by the council? Marty?
Yeah. So, what was supposed to happen to go through the right channels of getting it from point A, from somebody's desk, to the vendor? And the second question is, what are we going to do to prevent this from happening in the future?
So I'll answer that question. What occurred in this situation with respect to the purchase order, and I think that's unfortunately where this particular and one-time situation originated. The purchase order was initiated in order to assure the encumbrance of the 16-17 budgeted amount into the subsequent fiscal year 17-18, the current fiscal year, in order to assure that encumbrance and then that carry forward. What we will do about it is to make sure that the Finance Department, and the Finance Department has already revised their process in order that they will not issue a purchase order in order to accomplish the encumbrance for carry forward. So the fact that the purchase order was inadvertently delivered to the contractor, the vendor, who was expecting it because we had gone through a bid process and that vendor knew that they had been selected as low bidder. So receiving a purchase order was not apparently a big surprise to them. Could possibly have communicated, oh, we got the purchase order, we'll be delivering the pump on such and such, but that's not a required part of anybody's procedure, and we can't control those kinds of communications. But we can certainly control the issuance of a purchase order, and that's exactly what we're doing, again, in order to accomplish the issue that you've identified. I just would like to make sure that make two comments in this regard. Number one, to remind the City Council and the community that our auditors have consistently and as recently as last year with their audit, and again we expect this year, have confirmed that the city's internal control procedures are both substantial and adequate. And secondly, to note that this one-time exception is not an indication that the city has, and it does not expose any type of material weakness in the city's internal control procedures. So again, I expect another what we call clean audit that will identify that, in fact, the city's internal control procedures are quite substantially adequate.
Rico?
And thank you for that explanation, City Manager. And I know you said that the process is going to be updated. Is that in an SOP? Is that within some written document? Or when you said there's going to be updated in regards to the finance on issuing the purchase order?
The process has already been updated, but we'll make sure that we put that into a written format.
Okay. And my personal, maybe my colleagues, I'd like to see once it's refined and done, I'd just like to have it emailed to me just for my knowledge and information, if that's possible, please. Thank you.
Anyone else or action? It's a resolution.
I'll introduce a resolution.
Vice Mayor Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilmember Marty Medina.
Aye.
Councilmember Rico Medina.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Connell. Mayor Ruane.
Aye.